What is going on, Angels? The Champ Strider here, and I've noticed something is a little bit different in the mouse and keyboard versus controller thing in Call of Duty Cold War. For some reason, the hit detection doesn't seem as good on mouse and keyboard, and the controller players, they feel real snappy and their aim feels real clean. And in last year's version of Modern Warfare, the balance of controller and mouse and keyboard felt pretty good, and when I was really slaying out and try hard, I'd wind up in PC-only lobbies. But this year in Cold War, the controller players feel real snappy, and I think the aim assist with the poor visibility makes them extremely strong. So I figured for today's video, I would pick up a controller and see what I think of the aim assist in Cold War. I've only ever casually gamed on controller, and that was when aim assist was so slight that you couldn't even notice it existed. The last controller FPS I played was SOCOM US Navy SEALs, which had to be at least 15 years ago. So I picked up an Xbox controller on Best Buy Black Friday sale, and we're going to try it out in game. So I just Googled best controller settings in Cold War, and I'm just going to assume the person knows more about controller play than me, and we're going to go with their settings. What better way to start this off, I think, than just jumping right into skill-based matchmaking in Nuketown lobbies. I'll have to figure the buttons out here as I go along. I'm assuming they're pretty, Look at that first kill. Damn. Alright, I'm assuming the buttons are pretty standard, and I'll figure it out as we go. So I have a, like a 1.5 KD on mouse and keyboard, which is apparently really high for this game. Feels terrible to me. So generally I just jump on people W keying. I don't really like, I don't really try hard. I'm not a complete sweat, but I have good aim, so it usually keeps me in higher tier lobbies. So I have the feeling after I get slaughtered for a round or two, I'll wind up in some real poor lobbies. How did I do this? There we go. There we go. Streak. How do I reload? That's not reload, okay? That's not reload. That's not reload. Okay, got it. I can tell you one thing. I'll do maybe 4 or 5 games on the controller. When I go back to mouse and keyboard, I'm expecting to be in bot lobbies, and I'm pulling a chain fees and dropping a nuke on these kids, man. I feel like one of those guys in the exclusive Ace video where he's like shooting them in the back and they don't notice. See, that's where I could feel the aim assist right there kind of locked me on him. Once I got on him, I've been having trouble getting on people. Once I get on people, it seems to kind of keep you there. That was just felt really clean. This does not feel clean. Get wrecked. Alright, so hopefully I get a little bit of a more fair shake here of people who also are thumbless. Alright, not thumbless, those guys, but that felt decently snappy. So it seems like when they're straight on me, I can get locked on, but when I gotta like switch, oh, that was aim assist right there. When I gotta like switch to a guy up there, I just can't do it. What is stim? That's not stim. So what I noticed so far with the controller, it feels like I don't have to manage recoil at all. Like, there's no, on mouse and keyboard I have to pull down to control the recoil. Get wrecked, boys. But on controller, it just seems to control itself. Like, curious if there's even a reason to use the recoil attachments on the controller, because it seems like there's just no recoil. There we go, I'm a real gamer here. How do I reload? Nope. Yep. So game 2, I'm getting quick scoped and lasered pretty good. I don't seem to be in like the protected areas of skill-based matchmaking, so I must be a natural with controller. Look at these shitters right there, though. I just realized I've been playing on 10% volume this whole time. I've just been so focused about figuring out the controller. We should actually have some sound now. Maybe after this game, I'll go into the settings and figure out how to like jump and slide and stuff. I don't feel like I'm at that level yet. Yeah, get wrecked. That's not reload, damn it. The movement is the hardest thing for me right now. I just don't feel like I can move good. There's people out here. Oh my god, that guy was tryharding like a maniac. I think there's someone in here. I think my crosshair placement is more important with the controller because if I get the crosshair on, the aim assist will just kick in right away. Well, Cold War being the crap that it is, it somehow put me in Combined Arms Assault when I'm supposed to be in Nuketown. Yeah, once it got on, it kind of locked on him.
Our momentum is building. Take it to them.
Oh yeah, look at that clean clip there.
Enemy spy plane inbound.
Alright, I'm getting it now. Oh!
Objective is secure.
That just like completely locked on and stuck on him. One thing I noticed so far, which is a little weird to me, is the hip firing with the controller. The bullets actually seem to hit, but with mouse and keyboard, it like almost feels worthless to hip fire. Like they just don't connect. So what's crazy to me right now is like I'm literally thumbless and I'm not in the lobbies like Chain Feeds or Korean Savage gets. Like people are shooting me. Well, that was kind of clean. That's where I feel like the aim assist is good. Oh, I couldn't turn fast enough to get on that guy. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Telling you, hip fire on controller is so much cleaner. I don't understand why that is. I think that's enough of this controller experiment. I can't take it anymore. It feels so unnatural to me. Look at this. Here I am thumbless, and people are out, like, still rocking people with, let's go. Oh, no, I made it on the video. So I think we know watching that I'm absolutely a god-awful controller player, which I kind of figured was going to be bad going in. But one of the most interesting things to me of that whole video was I never got, like, pushed down to those lobbies of, like, Chain Feeds or Korean Savage where they just slaughter people who don't shoot back. Every lobby I was in for, like, 5 or 6 games, people were drop-shotting, camping with the hogs, and they were generally hitting stuff. I actually found it really interesting that skill-based matchmaking was not like there is obviously something wrong with this player and we're going to put him in the protected bracket. So I think I spent enough time with the controller to kind of have an idea of what is better at than the mouse and keyboard, because if it didn't have aim assist, I would have gotten no kills probably in that whole video. What I found interesting about the controller and the aim assist in general was the guns that I used. It felt like I had no recoil on controller. Like on mouse and keyboard, you have to pull down and manage the recoil and understand the recoil pattern. I just shot and did nothing. So I know there's like people with controllers that have like sticks that make you have no recoil. I just have a normal one, but I felt like there was no recoil. So I'm not sure why like people need those special controllers. I felt like with the controller, when it locks onto people, it kind of like tracks them a little bit for you. And for some reason, the time to kill felt quite a bit faster with the controller than with mouse and keyboard when you're hitting like kind of the same amount of shots, or you're kind of locked on with both. That's why I've been saying like I kind of feel like there's something up with the hit detection on the mouse and keyboard, because it felt like in some of those clips I dropped people faster with the controller, and we know I'm terrible with the controller, than I did with mouse and keyboard. And it was like similar, just locked on target, full auto, like they go down faster with the controller. It makes no sense to me. I also noticed the controller seems to have a huge advantage with the aim assist and their hip firing. I don't know why, but with mouse and keyboard, I found hip firing to be terrible this year. Like I go all ADS speed on every gun I use because the hip firing just seems so bad. Like the bullets just never hit on mouse and keyboard when you're centered. And on controller, it was from 10 feet in, you just shoot, it locks on. And it was like a hard habit for me to break to get used to actually hip firing. It was interesting to experience because when I'm watching some of the really good pros and streamers who play on controller, they hip fire a lot. And on mouse and keyboard, when I hip fire from those ranges, my bullets are hitting the ceiling and the floor and everything except where the center of the crosshair is. Seems to me where the mouse and keyboard still kind of shines is at longer range, because once they passed like 20 or so feet with the controller, it seemed the aim assist got real soft, or maybe it's just because I'm so bad with it, but I couldn't hit a damn thing. So I think with like the aim assist and kind of like the funky hit detection on mouse and keyboard, it's kind of moved to what's stronger for most people, because, you know, traditionally with a weak aim assist, a mouse and keyboard player who was pretty casual or pretty average was always going to be better than an average control player. I think for most people who've grown up kind of playing with both inputs, the controller right now is going to be stronger for them unless you get up to like the higher end of mouse and keyboard aimers, like that MP Control Ward guy who's like just complete aimbot. But if you're someone like me, I mean, I'm never going to make the switch from mouse and keyboard to controller. I'm just too used to it, and my movement felt so terrible with the controller, and it did not feel natural at all for me. So I can't wait to get on mouse and keyboard again, and hopefully drop a nuke in my first lobby back. We'll see. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and watching me get slaughtered for the last few minutes. I think you can see from the video that controller is probably going to be stronger for most people in this version of Call of Duty, and that kind of makes sense because, look, let's face it, that is going to be generally Activision and Treyarch's audience. More people play on console with controller than they do on PC, and the pro leagues are all with controller in Call of Duty, so I guess that makes a little bit of sense. But I do hope they spend some time to look into the hit detection on mouse and keyboard because it definitely feels like it's not as consistent or the bullets just don't hit as much as they do on controller. Before I leave you guys, remember, if it's your first time here, to become an angel by hitting the subscribe button. And I'll see you guys again soon. Champ out.